What's up, YouTube, anyone who's listened to these uh, fight predictions and shows I've done in the past. I wanted to change direction on a couple of shows. I got into some of the controversial stuff. People who have been having controversy in their lives. We're talking about the Chris Browns and the Rihannas and the Kelly Rowlands and all that. This show is basically straight reporting about my views on some fights coming up, some things that have happened in the sport of boxing. I did a little research. I went back into my cabinet, back over to my left, the little tan cabinet. That's where I keep my library of Ring magazines. They go back as far as the early 90s. This particular issue here is May of 1994. Let's get a good quick shot of that. This talks about the greatest fighters of all time, division by division. And I've had this book since it was brand new. I had it delivered back when I lived in another part of town, but I had it delivered because we didn't really have these Fightnews.com, Yahoo.com. We didn't have the Bleacher Report. I didn't have places where I could get news instantly because back then the internet was nowhere near what it is now. You had it on, but it wasn't really available. But long story short, I did some research, just casual. I do it all the time. While I'm in the bathroom or showering or whatever, I'll have one of these books laying around. I'll come out and I'll check them out. But there's been some debate from Floyd Mayweather Sr., Jr., and even Teddy Atlas, who had my respect up to a certain point, that talked about they're questioning why Pacquiao turned down a $30 million fight for fight Floyd Mayweather. And it makes you wonder. Not saying he's guilty, but it makes you wonder. So I recently did a reply on right after the Hatton fight. Floyd Mayweather Sr., who was a trainer for Hatton at the time, had made some comments about, I'm just wondering how he's able to come from a flyweight at 105 all the way up here and have power. He didn't think he'd have that much power. And then I started wondering myself. I did a reply to it, and I was like, my comment to the whole thing is like, how are you going to tell me that your son, who started out at a super featherweight, is knocking guys out at welterweight? Now, I realize that super featherweight's a little bit higher up, but the bottom line is that's still 5 weight classes, and he's undefeated. Hadn't been knocked out, hadn't been officially knocked down off his feet, but he's still beaten. He just knocked out a dude 160 pounds. Now he claims he's all clean blood work or whatever. I wanted to bring out, I didn't really notice, even though they say they came and took the blood, it wasn't featured as prominent as it was with the Mosley fight. But I went back here and did a little research. Guys who were lightweights and moved up to welterweight, and Henry Armstrong had held 3 titles simultaneously. Guys who fought bigger guys and was beating them and knocking them out. And although this doesn't conclude that Pacquiao is clean in the mind of those who want to doubt, but that video that Floyd Mayweather Sr. shot is the first time. That was a Phantom Menace. I even quoted it. If you go to youtube.com and click on it, Zemo's son quoted. This is the Phantom Menace when that that performance enhancement drug, the PEDs, that's when the talk started, right there on that clip. Before then, Teddy Atlas, everybody, oh yeah, Pacquiao's improved, he's getting better. Freddie Roach turned him into a 2-hand fighter. He had a 1 hand, now he got 2 hands. All that talk then was all good and positive for Pacquiao. Now all of a sudden now, Floyd Mayweather Sr. made the comment, oh, I think that he's on performance enhancement drugs, or I think he's doing something, then it spread like a virus. And of course, Floyd came on later on, even though him and his dad wasn't speaking, that what you saw with Ricky Hatton wasn't my dad's game plan. He's a good trainer, and Mirage, Uncle Roger, Uncle Jeff, they're all good trainers. Even though he's recanted all that stuff back and forth over the time and days now, at that point in time, he made the comment that that was not his dad's intention. So it got me to looking. I'm looking at these guys here, and I came across this gentleman here. He fought back in the day. His name is Jimmy McLaurin. You probably can't see it good, but there's a little picture of him right here. Move this way. That's him right here, right there. His name is Jimmy McLaurin. Quick little history on him. Like a guy named Barney Ross, who also fought at welterweight, lightweight. He started as a flyweight. Campaigned for the last 7 years of his career at 147. He flaunted tremendous power, especially with his right hand. This is in the late 20s and 30s. He was a feared puncher. He killed guys like Kid Kaplan, Sid Terrace, Joe Glitch, Sammy Baker, Rudy Goldstein, Young Colbert III, Benny Leonard, who is ranked as one of the best lightweights of all time, right up under the Roberto Duran. But this gentleman here was knocking out guys that were 147 pounds from flyweight. Back before they even knew what, I don't even know they had real drugs back then. Performance enhancement drugs weren't invented back then. So my point of this show is simply this. It's possible for a fighter to be a clean fighter and to be able to fight from the lower weight classes and come up in weight and still be effective, not only as a puncher, but also as a fighter. The reason I wanted to make this known is simply because everybody seems to have got this bug. Floyd Mayweather Sr. and Jr. have stuck that infectious bug in everyone, saying it's not possible for a fighter to have gotten an opportunity to get better and train and harder, work harder. I mean, the man trains like an animal. I think Jeff Fennick stands out. Sugar Ray Leonard stands out. You talk about guys who train a lot. These are fighters who actually stood out because they trained so hard in the gym to continue to improve and get better. That's what Pacquiao has done. I watched some clips of him doing his abdominal work. He has 7 or 8 different abdominal training things. I saw one video where he hit the speed bag for like 6-7 minutes on camera. Just hit the speed bag 6-7 minutes. A lot of the training that he has done, that he does do, is exceptional. Floyd Mayweather is another incredibly, and I really truly give him his credit. I don't think another fighter in the history of the sport, even Evander Holyfield, trains like Floyd does and has gotten better. But the fact of the matter is, this is a gentleman who went from flyweight to 147. A lot of times, weight under 147 was knocking out bigger guys. I do believe he even fought a middleweight on a couple of occasions. And he's not the only guy. You got Barney Ross. He's a guy who was a 3-division champion. It says right here, even during welterweight, never weighed more than 140 pounds. Started out as a lightweight. He's never been knocked on 81 bouts. Only reason he ranked ahead of the guy McLaurin because he beat him in 2 out of 3 fights. So he lost to Henry Armstrong in his last bout of his career, one of the greatest fighters of all time, Barney Ross. And Henry Armstrong, they got him here rated #1 at welterweight. As you see here, he had the simultaneously held flyweight, lightweight, and welterweight crowns. And very seldom, he stood only 5'5", which is about the same height as Pacquiao, if I'm not mistaken, and weighed at or under the lightweight limit for 8 of his 22 welterweight fights. So you're talking about a guy who weighed at lightweight, who was fighting guys who were 147 pounds easily and whipping them with no performance enhancement drugs. That's the last man to be able to hold belts in 3 divisions simultaneous. For some reason, they changed it. But the point I'm trying to make right now, I want to just get that out there. Of course, today is the 30th of October. Coming up real soon, we're going to have the Pacquiao Marquez 3 coming up. I predict a 4th or 5th round knockout for Pacquiao. If it go any longer, I would probably be totally in shock. If it went to a decision, I really would be shocked. We had the overturning of the decision in the Bernard Hopkins fight with Chad Dawson. He basically got fouled in the fight, knocked down. After a shoulder shrug that caused an injury to his shoulder. I thought it should have been a no contest to start with, but they finally reversed it where Chad Dawson will have to settle for having a no contest or a technical or whatever. Another fight coming up is the Alvarez. He's going to be fighting against him. I'm really impressed with Alvarez. He's fighting regular real well. We don't know what's going to happen with Tim Bradley. I do hear he's moving up to welterweight. I don't know what's going to happen with Amir Khan, but I know he's going to fight a mandatory guy. Probably knock him out 4 or 5 rounds or decision, whatever. I'm going to just come out and say I would like to see Tim Bradley get a shot at either Pacquiao in his next fight or maybe Berto. Berto's supposed to fight somebody coming up too. I'm not exactly sure. These things are still up in the air, so I'm not really sure about them. But I'm at 9 minutes and some change. I want to wrap this up quick. I'm going to do another show right behind this one because I have some more stuff to say. But I want to spend as much possible time trying to straighten out the fact that this Pacquiao and it's coming up. If you watch him progress with Freddie Roach from the time he first fought as a substitute for another fighter against some African guy whose name I'm not going to try to butcher, till now, he's improved constantly and consistently. I want to spark debate. I want people who disagree with me to come and let me know. Those who agree with me to come and let me know. I'm going to do more shows, more regular, because this boxing game is getting crazy and ridiculous, and we just need to talk about it. We need to get it out there. The Bleacher Report, Yahoo, go to HBO.com, Fightnews.com. I got all my reliable information from there. So I'll be hitting you back real soon with another quick show. This is Avery Bain signing out. Zemo signing out.